Let's take you back to Cape Town, where my colleague Bongiwe Zwane is standing by to give you all the analysis and the latest ahead of the opening of Parliament this evening.
Thank you very much, Unati. With us in studio, we do have the Minister of Mineral Resources. But before we get into that conversation, we do have our reporters who are still on standby, ready to speak to ordinary South Africans about their expectations tonight. We do have Lula Mamatya. We also have Mbalenhle Mthethwa. We have Lerato Fekisi as well. So quite a lot to get through. But let's have a conversation now with Minister Gwede Mantashe, who's joining us in studio. Minister, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Let's just start here. You know, when you were tabling your budget vote, there's something you said, and I'd like to read from it. You were talking about how this budget is being delivered under difficult conditions, especially looking at the issues around the economy. At the same time, there's another huge issue you touched on, and that is around the retrenchments in the mining sector as well. Let's talk about that. And, you know, of course, someone who's watching tonight who says we do have this opening of Parliament address, but at the same time, you do have the reality of job losses in the mining sector as well.
This is the Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources. It's repackaged, it's focused, everything electricity related goes to a new ministry. I love that, I must confess. I love that. I'm dealing with everything that is difficult and complex. I don't know if you will recall that during COVID, one sector that continued to create employment was mining. Continued to grow because we took tough decision and rough decision on ourselves. We opened it when it was at level 5, we opened it further at level 4, we opened everything at level 3. And it led to reconstruction and recovery. Now we are going through a period because mining is mining. There are two major factors. One is called exchange rate, and the second one is called commodity prices, which are very cyclical. You can't predict commodity prices. Gold is doing well now. It's above 2,400 an ounce. Platinum is around 1,030 and 40. But palladium and rhodium around it has collapsed in terms of prices. And that makes mining industry unpredictable in that regard. And in South Africa, it was made worse by the concerted load shedding on electricity. Intensive use of electricity in mining. It was concerted by disorganized and logistics, rail and ports. Bulk commodities like iron ore and coal must reach the port to go. And all those factors are impacted on mining. And we are working on recovering it. So that's why one of the things that we're going to be releasing within the next few weeks is a study on the state of mining in South Africa. Because we must help South Africans unlearn this thing of mining being gold mining and make them see mining in its entirety. And we are going to, in that study, look into mineral by mineral and say gold is in decline, platinum is growing, manganese is growing, iron ore is doing well, coal is doing well, and then say this is the net effect of the state of the mining industry.
When you talk about, you know, the state of the mining industry, I know you say that the study is still coming, but currently, how would you, as the minister, define it?
My own view is that gold is in trouble. It is declining, and I understand the reason for that. I once ran a research on that. We have been mining gold for more than 140 years. Deep, difficult, expensive. And therefore it is declining. You look at the Free State gold fields, it's almost dead. Few operations are still run by Harmony. And you go to Klerksdorp, similar story. You can go to major gold mining areas, they're dying, not because people are reckless, because gold has come to an end. But I will tell you another intervention that is talking to mitigate that. For example, you have released the first 72 million rand for artisanal miners. What will those artisanal miners do? Artisanal miners will be mining marginal gold deposits that are left behind by major companies. And those marginal deposits are what attract illegal mining. Now, we're addressing that by training and licensing people, and we're giving them seed capital to get into those marginal deposits and mine them.
So how are you going to be able then to police that, to make sure that you don't find, for example, cartels, gangs, taking over, but you're able to ensure that everyone that you've trained is able to participate?
That's why the selection is quite strict. People understand what they do. They go to training. Artisanal mining is a new phenomenon in South Africa. It is widely spread in the continent. We are bringing it here, and we're hoping that it will make a major contribution in increasing volumes of production in marginal deposits that have been sterilized by big mining companies.
And before we run out of time and before I let you go, please allow me and change hats for now, being ANC chairperson and not a minister. We just heard from the Progressive Forum a short while ago, and they were talking about the fact that for them, they obviously want to ensure that there's a lot of issues that they deal with when it comes to the issues of South Africans. But interestingly enough, they say that they want to bring back the Phala Phala impeachment process to Parliament, and they want to make sure that, they say the ANC was able to evade this through its majority in the past, and this time they're hoping that things would be done differently. Your response?
Now, the problem is that, if you are a party, you have no program. You look for anything. When you look for mistakes, you find them. But if you want to build and move ahead, it's difficult. It requires complex and complicated and sophistication of individuals. So they will talk Phala Phala. What they don't talk about is a party that is operating from an area that was built with state money. And Phala Phala is not state money. Now, they don't see the difference. Because they are looking for mistakes, they will chase Phala Phala. One of the things that I always ask people when they talk Phala Phala, I ask, which department lost this money? And everybody tells me that no, it's that president's money that was found in his residence, but it is not declared. It's not like stealing. It's like lack of declaration, and there are institutions that deal with that. So let the Progressive Forum does what they want to do. They have a mandate to come to Parliament, and then we'll deal with it as we come.